What's good, guys? We got another More with Devin episode. And today I'll be answering some questions as well as talking about, you know, learning how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And, so those are going to be our topics. So to kind of get in this immediately, what's up, Jess? E-Love 1911, good to see you. Like I said, we're going to be talking about, learning how to be uncomfortable when it comes to, reaching your goals, as well as, answering some questions that people have that we'll go in depth in. But, first things first, we'll go ahead and go into the aspect of, learning how to be in a space of uncomfortability. And what I'm finding from, an emotional place to, physically, like if you want to get stronger, if you're weak, you have to overcome your weakness through, resistance. And that resistance will get you stronger. If you have bad endurance, you got to work your lungs and you have to work your heart and it gets stronger. But that process is a period of discomfort. And I'm not talking about particularly, being in acute pain or bringing suffering to yourself where you're actually injuring yourself or hurting yourself or making things worse. But where there's a place of weakness and, instability, we have to do something about that. And, whether, it's something that we're dealing with within our emotional self, our hearts, a lot of times we want to numb the pain. We want to avoid it. We want to suppress it. But what I'm finding, one of the best things that you can do is sit with it and understand why it's there. And, then from there, you have to, address it and address it with love. You know what I'm saying? Deal with it from a place of love, not hurting yourself or going too hard or, just doing too much. But at the same time, you have to be able to learn how to be uncomfortable and learn how to stay calm in the midst of being uncomfortable. And I'm seeing from my own personal experience, that's the key to success. When it comes to, even my business, had this idea to create this business and I had to go through some of the most uncomfortable circumstances that I've ever had in my entire life, where I just thought to myself, if I really knew what I had to do to get to where I am, the processes that I had to go through, I'm not sure if I really would have started this business. But by jumping in the fire, you know what I'm saying, you get transformed and you gotta make it work. And then you grow, you get out your comfort zone and you grow to a level that you did not know was possible. You didn't realize that you had certain talents inside of yourself that you can, learn certain skills and be able to endure in ways that if you just stayed in the safe zone, maybe your life would still be, in a space where you're not, producing at the level that you really can. And, you have to be able to be willing to get out your comfort zone and you have to learn to become resilient and strong. And that's no different, in the gym. It's the same thing. Learning resilience, that's what it comes down to. Learning how to listen to your body, learning how to, feel that tension and being able to stay calm and clear and confident in the midst of, the struggle that you got to do to break down your muscle. And so it's no different, and if you can take those principles in the gym and be able to work really hard and feel that soreness, do that extra rep when you think you don't have anything left, be able to, increase the weight and challenge yourself, in a way that's safe. You're training your mind and your body at the same time when you're doing that because, the mind follows the body and the body follows the mind. So if you can be aware and conscious of what you're doing in the gym and you've been able to make great progress, you can transfer that same energy into your life. And it's the same stuff, you know what I'm saying? And actually, it's kind of the same, but it's different. But, if you can push through that kind of physical pain, you can sit through that emotional pain too. But a lot of times we haven't been taught to, we feel anxiety, we feel, any kind of discomfort emotionally, we have some kind of coping mechanism, whether that's, drinking, eating, whatever it may be, doing smoking, whatever it is, what I'm saying, whatever your vice is. But that's a temporary fix, but it doesn't get to the root of the issue. But if you can learn when you feel that tension within your heart, within your mind, within your body, emotionally, if you can learn to sit with that, you become so strong. And from there, you get in tune with the reason that it's there. And then it allows you to actually release it. And it's something that it seems like it's forever, but it passes. And you then have wisdom. And then when those circumstances come up again, you have strength and resilience within yourself. And you can get through those situations even faster. And, from there, so if your mind is strong, your body is strong, you can come into this world and be efficient. And most people don't practice getting strong physically and being able to endure. Most people don't deal with their emotions and the things that are deeply rooted in them. They, or they overreact and are triggered for the rest of their lives where they're stuck in a cycle. But if you can learn to sit with that and understand, and whatever the depth that it is, really investigate. And like on the other side of that, man, is so much power, so much freedom, so much peace, and so much wisdom for you to be able to take your life to your truest potential. So just wanted to bring that up, and this is something that I'm personally learning, through meditation. I do cold showers, I do breath work. Sometimes I just sit with myself, and I'm not perfect. I'm not able to just every day be super positive and every single time do the right thing. That's not the case, and that's the reason I'm making these decisions to like learn how to heal and get in tune with who I am from within. But I can say that it's not about being perfect, but it's about moving towards it. And it just feels so good on the other side to realize the strength that you have, your ability to maintain your character and your integrity of who you say you are, even in the midst of like tough times. And like I said, I'm not perfect. I don't always, have everything together, and I do miss the mark a lot. But from there, man, you learn to forgive yourself and you move towards who you want to become. And you have to, the only way that you get there is some birth. It's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like transitioning to a new grade, you know what I'm saying? Like doing a new workout, a new job, like, you know what I'm saying? Like getting in front of a crowd or moving. It's all these things that can like benefit us, but you got to be able to get out your comfort zone and, not really care about how people are going to perceive you, and realize that you're not going to be perfect, that you're going to make mistakes, but it's through falling forward, you gain more and more wisdom. And if you earnestly want to be better, like you will get there no matter how long it takes. And it doesn't matter, somebody else's journey, they're doing it faster than you, or it seems like they're at a higher level than you, are doing it easier. It's not about that. It's about where you are versus where you want to be. And then, from there, that's where your marker is you versus you. So, that's what I'm seeing is learning how to deal with that emotional pain, sitting with it, finding ways to like become stronger and more resilient within yourself, and not learning to have more compassion for yourself and other people. And, from that space, man, beautiful things start to manifest in your life. You become more clear, more confident, and more calm. And those 3 C's, when you got that, man, like you see life for what it is, you see yourself for what it is, you see people for what it is, you're able to make better decisions. And, so it's worth it. But yeah, so that's all I got to say about that. Hope I was able to give some value to anybody who needed that message. And now we're going to go ahead and go into this Q&A and answer some questions when it comes to, fitness and nutrition. All right, so our first question that we have, let me get this together. Give me one moment so I can read it all the way. Let's see. Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. So our first question that we have is, I've been doing intermittent fasting now for 2 years. I always work out fasted. I work out very early in the morning. I now eat only 2 times a day, at least a 16-hour fast. Most days it is a 17-hour fast. Then I wait for another 6 hours after my breakfast to eat lunch, dinner. These past 2 weeks, I have felt it's all of a sudden been a struggle with energy and shakes. I usually do 90 minutes of weight training 3 times a week, 60 minutes of cardio per week, walk 3 to 5 miles per day, and ride my bike anywhere from 4 to 17 miles a day, depending on my energy levels. What could be the problem? That's a good question. Like a lot of stuff is happening with that. So intermittent fasting, the main focus when it comes to weight loss is it just shortens your time period that you eat. So then it makes it a little bit harder for you to overeat. But then at the same time, there's been some studies that show that it helps with like metabolic function and anti-aging and different hormonal things and all that kind of stuff. But the main thing that, that it does is helps you be in a deficit, easier because you're eating a less amount of time. But with you having, such high level of training and, working out to the capacity that you are, it's really essential that you also fuel your body properly. So with having such a small eating window, probably you're not getting the right amount of protein as well as the right amount of nutrients. So, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're training super hard, but also not fueling your body. So if you're going to intermittent fast, you need to make sure that you have enough time in your eating window where you can get really, really nutrient dense foods, making sure that you get the right amount of protein and, from there, the right amount of nutrients that you need to sustain your body with all of the exercise that you're doing. So it's not necessary, depending on like what your reasoning is, if it's health related or if it's, rooted in you being able to, lose body fat, I would need to know those details. But if, your main focus is overall wellness and just, losing body fat and just being healthy, you don't, you can change your diet up, because it's not good for you to feel that way, especially if you're not trying to like do some kind of competition where you're getting super lean and you got to like push through it. If your main goal is overall wellness, you shouldn't be feeling like that. And you need to like maybe possibly, add other meals in, or make sure that you're getting an adequate amount of food and nutrients, minerals and vitamins, in your diet, to make sure that you're sustained enough to be able to, fuel your body and be optimal with your training and overall health. So that's what I would say with that. All right, so then we got our next question. I have been trying to incorporate apple cider vinegar in my diet by having it in water in the morning. However, I have to be honest, it's vile, LOL. I've tried it with a teaspoon of honey, cinnamon, vanilla with water, but it's still pretty rough for me. Is apple cider vinegar that good for my body that I should consume it even when I don't find it very tasty? So, apple cider vinegar is, antimicrobial, bacterial, and I've taken it. What I found personally, it seems to help me with my appetite, and it seems to, kind of help me keep things clear within my gut and just overall. But if it's something that's that vile to you, it's not necessary where it's going to be a make or break situation for you to, stay healthy. It's not like necessary, and it's not going to be something where you stop taking it, you're going to see some huge change in your physique or your weight loss abilities. It's just another, tool to kind of help optimize your body. But if it's that bad for you, then, you don't need to continue to take it. And in my opinion, something that is making you struggle to that degree, and it's a lifestyle-based thing, you should probably try to find another option, in my opinion, that's going to be something that you can do long-term. It's almost the same thing if you like working out, or, your diet plan is something that you absolutely hate. Like, you're probably not going to stick with it long-term to get the results that you desire or be able to maintain those results. So it's all about figuring out a system that works for you, that, you enjoy, and that you can do long-term. Not to say that there's never going to be times where you have to sacrifice and get out your comfort zone like I talked about before. But big picture, long-term, you need to figure out a lifestyle, a daily routine, habits, training modules and nutrition protocols that are going to be conducive to you being able to maintain it long-term. So, all right, so then our next question is, what do you think about bone broth? When you drink it plain, do you add anything, herbs, veggies? So bone broth is something that's really, really good. It helps with collagen production, as well as it, it's really good for, so collagen when your skin, hair, and nails. And then also it's really, really good for your joints and ligaments when it comes to helping like build cartilage, keeping your tendons and joints, and ligaments, resilient and strong. It's a really great source of amino acids as well. So, if you're working out all the time, you need to replenish that. You train super hard. You're like releasing all of these things. Your body is working super hard. Things are being broken down, and you got to give it the tools to allow it to be able to recover and repair and, recover and heal. And so, if you're working super hard, but you're not putting the things that you need in your body, then you can put yourself in a position where you injure yourself in a way that could have been prevented. Or you overuse a body part when you're not allowing it to regenerate the way that it needs to. So, bone broth is awesome, super, super awesome if you're working out. What I'm saying? There's bone broth, like the actual just, the bone broth that you can make, with, getting chicken bones and, beef bones and like getting it out from there, like boiling it in water. And then there's also, ability just to buy it, in the liquid form already, as well as they have bone broth that's powder form. You can like use it like a protein shake. And it also has like a little extra protein. I use that. It's really good stuff. So I think bone broth is like a missing link that a lot of people don't talk about that has a lot of benefits, because, if your connective tissue is not good, then, you got super nice, strong muscles and big muscles, but then your knees is jacked up, your wrist is jacked up, ankles and the elbows is all messed up, hips, then you're gonna be limited to your ability to continue to train and reach your full potential. So you got to take care of those, those little things as well. So bone broth is an awesome thing. And then from there, you want to add some herbs and veggies. Hey, it's going to make it better. It's not necessary, but you want to add some more nutrient density to it. That'd be a good option, a great option to add that if you enjoy it that way. But it's not necessary when it comes to the main purposes of what bone broth is going to achieve for your body. So then from here, our next question said, I'm not getting results with my usual super low calorie intake. Should I add more calories to my daily intake? So that's a really great question. So, it's kind of a loaded question too. So me being a coach and coaching a lot of people, what I have found is that for the most part, people in this kind of situation, it's two things that's happening. Is either one is that they are having super low calories. I'll give you an example. Like, let's say we can say 5 days out of the week, Monday through Friday, crushing it. And let's just say low calorie mode. There's a woman who's eating 1,200 calories, which is, a pretty low amount of calories. Depending on, let's just say this woman is, 150, 160, somewhere between 150, 170 pounds. They're taking in 1,200 calories, doing like 5 days of cardio, pushing it real hard. So that amount of calories, and they're doing that, 5 days a week, like on top of it, perfect. Weekend comes and Friday comes around, they snacking, going out to drink, eating, and then Saturday comes around, like smashing again, like, and then what ends up happening is that either, they're in a slight caloric surplus, or they kind of almost are like in a maintenance where they have did all this work for 5 days, and it's 2 days of, like, let's just say, 3,000, 4,000, around 3,000 calories of super high density, high calorie foods in those 2 days. So you ate almost, 6,000 to 8,000 calories from Friday to Sunday, and you just threw off your overall intake for you to be in a deficit. And people don't realize that they're doing that. Or, actually a third way is that they're snacking, so they're eating super lean, and then like, oh, I just had some trail mix. And, that's what I did. Like, and they think like trail mix is fine. Or, they have some kind of food that's high in calorie, like a, granola bar or something like that. And, they don't realize that snacking is putting them at, who knows, maybe 1,600 calories. And maybe for them to really be in a deficit, they need to be eating, 1,400 calories. So then now they're like, eating too much food where they're not losing weight, but they're not thinking to themselves like these snacks that they're having periodically that are high in calories are making it where they're not being able to like continue to see weight loss. And, so I see a lot of people that do that. But then the other situation that is possible is that, let's just say you dieted really, really hard for a duration of time where you were in a deficit on a profound level, and you affected your hormone levels and things of that nature. Then from there, your metabolism can get really slow, and then you start to not be able to lose weight anymore. And what can happen is, let's just say you go into a deep deficit, and then let's just say you were dieting for 10 weeks, and you diet really, really, really aggressively, and then that 11th and 12th week, maybe for 3 weeks, you ate a whole bunch of food with your metabolism being super slow. So I'll give you an example. So let's just say you're eating 1,200 calories, and you did that on average for 10 weeks. And then now you just bump your food up to 2,400 calories, but your metabolism can only handle 1,200. And you do that, you eat 1,200 calories every day for, let's even say for 3 weeks. Then now what's going to happen is that extra 1,200 calories, so that 2,400 calories, that extra 1,200 calories that you eat is going to basically convert to body fat, because your metabolism is not strong enough to be able to take in that extra food, and you're increasing your food too fast. So then now you're just gaining body fat, and your metabolism is still not, healthy yet. So it's slow, and you just gain body fat. So let's say you gain, I don't know, 10, 15 pounds, which is like more than possible. So I've seen people do that even in a week. So let's say you gain 10 to 15 pounds, and your metabolism is still slow. So now you're in a really precarious circumstance where slow metabolism, and you got this extra body fat, and then you try to diet super hard again and do all this extra stuff, and you're just in kind of this mess. So what would need to happen in that circumstance is that you got to reverse diet back up, and it's possible to possibly be able to start to lose that body fat again. And if you can maintain a deficit for a duration of time, and then gradually increase your food so your metabolism is strong. And so if you're really in a situation where you're not, underestimating how much food that you're actually taking in, and you're not being able to lose weight, then what would be best is to, take a break and increase your food back up at a rate where you're not gaining body fat because you eat too much food too fast, and get that metabolism back up as high as it can get. Stay there for some time, let your hormone levels and body just get back to a place of, balance. And then from there, maybe even get in a surplus for a little bit. And then from there, slowly start dropping that food back down. And then, that's one of the ways that you can get yourself back into a space where you're losing weight and, get your body composition where you want it to be. So like I said, first make sure that you're not snacking, you know what I'm saying, and not counting stuff, because it's like, oh, it's just a little bit, and it adds up. And then make sure that you're not going crazy on the weekend and mess up that whole Monday through Friday, staying on top of your diet super on point, and then Friday night to Saturday night, Sunday night, you mess stuff up where then now you're in a surplus, or you're just at a space where you're not gaining or losing weight. So those are the 3 things that I would suggest doing. But I'll need more context with your diet to find out the specifics. But that's the things that I've seen happen in my experience as a coach. All right, so then next we have our next question is, when I wake up in the morning, I don't eat anything first because I work out right away. Just have a glass of milk. Any suggestions for a good quick meal that won't interfere with my workout? I don't want to get up any earlier to eat and wait 30 minutes. Definitely understand that. You know what I'm saying? Sleep is super important. And, I feel that same thing. So what I would say is, instead of just having a glass of milk, make a protein shake, a protein smoothie, depending on if you're trying to gain weight, lose weight, whatever that is, you can make something really awesome. A scoop of whey or so, 1.5 scoop to 2 scoops of whey, depending on what your goals are. And then, you can add some, oats or peanut butter or, some fruits, spinach, make it a full profile where you got like a protein and fat, carb, you know what I'm saying? And, make it to the degree that, what your goals are. And that'll be super fast, throw it in the blender, easy, ready to go. And it'll set you off in a good way where protein, from what I'm finding, it's really important to start the day off with protein and get that body being able to utilize it. And it makes it easier for you to hit your goals longer in the day, because the longer you wait to have your protein, the harder it is to end up eating it when you got a lot of it left at night. So try to start the day off with a high protein meal, something like, like I said, a protein shake, or even like some egg whites that takes like 5 to 10 minutes to make. It's gonna set you up, throw some toast in the toaster, some Ezekiel bread or something like that, and then or add some fruit to your egg whites, and then you're good to go. But if you want to make it fast as possible, then just make your protein shake. That would be my suggestion. And then our last question is, can I damage my metabolism from too much cardio and low calorie diets? I feel hopeless. Recently, no matter what I do, I can't lose weight. I actually gain while eating less than I should be able to maintain. The weight is visible fat, not muscle, so I know my metabolism is damaged from previous undereating and too much cardio. I don't know how to reset my metabolism because when I eat more, I keep gaining and gaining. What can I do? So this is pretty similar to the question that I already answered before, but it needs to be a time, and I was actually, talking to one of my clients, this week about this, is that, it's not about perpetually being in a deficit. You need to put yourself in a position where you're training and you're in the gym, building muscle tissue and, giving your body the fuel to be able to, optimize and, be able to, perform at the highest degree. It doesn't matter if you're not an athlete. If you want to feel good and look good, you got to fuel your body. It's not about just starving yourself. And if you've been dieting for a super long time and doing a lot of cardio, what people don't realize, if you eat a low amount of food and you just kill cardio and don't really focus on like strength training, you can change your body composition for the worse, even though the scale is reducing. So an example of this, let's just say you lose, 4 pounds of muscle and then you lose 3 pounds of fat. You're going to have a higher body fat percentage. And then let's say you lose 4 pounds of muscle and 4 pounds of fat, you're just going to be a skinnier version of the same body fat percentage. You're going to have the same kind of look. That's a soft look, just going to be smaller, but it's going to look exactly the same. And, those are not the things that we want. A lot of times, thousands of people that I've talked to, almost every woman that I talk to specifically in a consultation, they say they trying to get toned. And, people say that ain't a real word, but the way I look at that is that person intuitively knows that they're trying to keep a good shape, which is, being able to have skeletal tissue, and then a lean amount of a low body fat where everything is toned at. That's what I take from that. And almost every woman I talk to, I'm trying to look toned. And if you want to be toned, you got to put on muscle and lose body fat. You got to change your body composition. It is more so about, instead of the scale, allowing yourself to reduce your body fat percentage, and maintaining a nice physique when it comes to, how you look. And from what I found, you got to go especially for a woman, you got to go beast mode on a whole nother level to get on swole mode. Like it's almost impossible for a woman to really be training to that level. You got to take it to a whole different kind of place. If you think it's going to be possible for you to get swole, you know what I mean? I train super hard. I'm trying to get bigger, and you know what I'm saying. And it's not an easy thing. It's actually easier to lose body fat than to like get super swole. So, but at the same time, you know, there are outliers, and you know, people know what they physique, what kind of goals they're trying to reach. But I want to let women know that the chances of you working out and lifting weights, making you become bulky, is a very, very low probability. You got to have crazy genetics for that to happen. And then at the same time, you know, a lot of, you know, gym goers who are looking to lose body fat, what they focus on is starving themselves and dieting, and you know, and then, you know, doing high amounts of cardio. But if you do too much cardio and you don't strength train, and you're not getting enough protein, you're not getting enough total calories, you're going to lose muscle too. And it's not going to be what you're looking for. You're not going to be happy with the results. So the best thing that you can do is, you know, focus on, you know, making sure that your diet is in a proper place when it comes to the amount of protein that you need, and then getting enough calories to be able to train in a way that's efficient, while also allowing you to lose the body fat, you know, maintain or be able to build muscle depending on your fitness level and your experience in training and resistance training. So if you're in that kind of space, you got to kind of reset. Same thing I said before, we need to get our metabolism in a space where it's stronger. And what I would recommend is also tapering down your cardio, because, you know, doing too much cardio, it's almost the same thing as having like a highly efficient car. So the difference between having like a semi truck or like a diesel gas guzzler and like a Toyota Prius, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, maybe gets 50 miles to the gallon, you actually want to be like the, you know, the diesel truck, where you don't efficiently burn gas, and like so that's almost kind of like having like a really high metabolism. In a period, like a Toyota Prius, however you say that car, you know, it really efficiently burns gas, where it's able to sustain it really well. So with that being the case, you know, the more cardio you do, the better in shape you get, the more efficient you move, the less energy your body has to use, you know, when it comes to, you know, the efforts that you're putting out. So then cardio becomes less effective. And then there's kind of like a place of diminishing returns. Like, let's say you start off 20 minutes of cardio, then you bump it up to 30, you bump it up to 40, then bump it up to 60, then you start increasing the intensity. It's only so hard that you can go. And if you start trying to do an hour and 30 minutes of cardio, 2 hours of cardio every single day, you're gonna make stuff worse for yourself. Your body's gonna break down, especially if you're doing that consistently and trying to train and eating a low amount of food. So you get to a point where cardio kind of hits its limit, and then you are super in shape, where now that the way that it worked for you, maybe when you were even only doing, you know, 20, 30 minutes of cardio, the way it worked when you initially started doing an hour cardio, it ain't going to keep working like that, because you're going to get in better shape. So the goal that I, you know, focus on with my clients that are really trying to optimize their body composition, and we're like really locked in, is the goal is to eat as much food as possible while doing the least amount of cardio. And then what's going to happen eventually is going to come to a point where you start to decrease food and increase cardio. And then, you know, we do that at, you know, the moment that is needed. So then cardio can be a tool to help us get in a deeper deficit. And then the food reducing is putting us in a position to also put us in a deeper deficit. And we use that at the right time period versus immediately gung-ho, calories super low, cardio super high. You don't have any room to continue to make progress. So that's what I would suggest with that. Hope that answered your questions. So we're going to go ahead and get off of here. I hope I was able to bring some value to you guys. I appreciate everybody that's on here. What's up, Dashel? What's up, Justin? Majestic. Adish. What up, Sarah? C. Williams. I appreciate everybody that's been on here showing love. Really appreciate it, guys. And, you know, if you have any kind of questions that you want answered, either DM me, or there'll be a link in the comments for you to be able to submit your questions. So appreciate all the support. As I always say, remember what the mind can conceive, it can achieve. Remember what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So peace out, guys. Appreciate you.